Okay, sorry, I was distracted for a second. Okay. How we feeling? Feeling good?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Feeling
Coffeeed up, dude. This coffee's hitting.
Yeah.
Tastes great today. Yeah, the coffee I made yesterday, something was wrong. I didn't want to make a new one. I just dealt with it, but I was like, I don't know what happened here. If like, I don't know, it just didn't taste right.
What's
But I
your
drank it anyway.
What's your coffee preparation method?
Um, I mean, I'm a cream and sugar kind of guy, but
yeah, but like, how are you making the coffee water? Like what? Like, are we talking like you got a Keurig, or you got like a drip coffee maker?
No, I just got a
nice. So you just loading them K cups in there.
Yeah, I used to yeah, I used to have the Keurig that I do have, and then another thing that I could like just, I don't know, do normal coffee with a filter and stuff. Like the default old people style. Nothing like fancy or anything. But I don't know. I just kind of realized that the Keurig thing is just really consistent and easy, and I only had it because my mom had gave me like all her stuff when she left Oregon. And so I like didn't use it for the longest time, and then I just used it on a whim one day. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, this is pretty fire. I'm just gonna keep doing this. So, yeah.
Which button do you push?
I do an 8-ounce cup.
Nice. You said?
I just use a normal coffee maker.
Yeah.
I use Folgers. I like Folgers.
I'm pretty sure it's Folgers.
Well, I pronounce it Folgers.
Wait,
in this house.
What? Do your parents not get the good stuff anymore?
They have their own stuff, but that shit's too fucking strong, man. I have the Folgers, and I'm fucking good to go, dude.
You need to switch to Cafe Bustelo. If you're gonna,
fuck is Cafe Bustelo?
If you're gonna drink it out of the fucking can anyway, you may as well get the fire shit.
I think it's what his parents get.
It used to be what they got. They get some other shit now.
Bustelo is the superior canned coffee by.
It is really good
by a wide margin. So wait. But okay, you. I understand that you use a drip coffee maker. That's perfectly fine. But what is your recipe, dog? How many grams of coffee to how many ounces of water? I mean, come on. We got to get. You want to be
Bro,
consistent.
I have no fucking clue. It is consistent. It's the same thing every single day at least. But no, I have no fucking clue. I do two scoops of whatever the fuck. I don't know what the scoops are. I don't know what. I just get it going, dude. I don't got the time, so I put that shit in, and I'm good to go, man.
How many what line do you fill the water to on the water portion?
So the amount of coffee it makes is up to here. That's much water.
It's a good amount.
Is that like 10 ounces maybe?
It's probably 8 to 10, yeah.
Okay.
Big ass cup.
Why do you use such a huge cup if you're only drinking like 1/3 of it?
Keeps it warm.
There's ice in it.
Oh, it keeps it cold.
This is disgusting. I'm immediately angry.
I ice it immediately as soon as it comes out, and I just dump a fuck ton of ice in it. Because I don't have the time in my fucking life to wait for this shit to get warm or warm enough to drink. So I just...
That's what the creamer's for.
Instant cold. That is disgusting. No. There is no creamer use whatsoever at all. Yeah. Using creamer is crazy. That is absolutely wild.
Not if you want it to be the exact warmth where you can drink it right away, straight off the fucking
I don't think that's why people use creamer.
No, but I do like how creamy it makes the coffee, and it doesn't make it as hot, so I start drinking it right off the bat.
I'm efficient. All right.
Let me tell you fellas the way, okay? I have a Hario scale. Okay. I weigh out depending on how many cups of coffee I want. I have different grammages of beans. They're whole beans. I weigh them out. So like if it's just me, for instance, I just want 1 cup of coffee, 13 grams, 10 to 13 grams of beans, pretty good. Grind that bad boy up. I do a 1 to 17 ratio in terms of water. So I take however many grams of beans and I multiply that by 17, and that's how many grams of water I'm pouring in there. So I put it on the scale, put the grounds on, got the coffee filter. You got to make sure you wet the filter before you put the grounds in. And then you pour your kettle of water over it. You do 100 grams up front, and you let that percolate for about a minute. You run that through, and then when you hit 1 minute and 1 second, then you do the rest of it real fast. So it's 17 times whatever. So 17 times 13. That's how many grams of water I pour on there, and you end up with a beautiful, consistent cup of coffee. You know why? Because you used measurements and math. You'll never end up in the situation that you were in, Crossley, where you're like, this doesn't taste quite right, because you fucking measured it out. It's perfect every time. Okay? I
press the same button every time, and I'm using a measured out cup of coffee shit made by Keurig.
No, because by introducing the pod device, the pod delivery system, you have taken control away from yourself in terms of the quality of the coffee.
He's right, though.
You've given it to Big Pepsi, because Pepsi owns Keurig now, and Big Pepsi determines exactly.
But I'm sure their measurements are pretty accurate.
You don't think they fuck up the pods?
All right.
Not enough to.
That's crazy. He thinks they got 100%. They're hitting 100 over there.
Well, okay, but to your point then, that's like the first fucking cup of coffee I've made in like months that's maybe been weird. So what, on like a 3 to 4 month timeline, I get one weirdo cup of coffee. It could have
never happened at all.
It took me 2 seconds to make, flip the press of a button. Y'all can eat my ass.
It could have never happened. That's the crazy part. You could have prevented it from ever happening.
It is funny though, because like I have an espresso that I do use sometimes, and it's the same deal. And to me, it's the consistency of the coffee is entirely determined by the machine. Like I feel like, because it's shooting water through, right? It's pressurized hot water.
I do think it's the Keurig itself. I think another point I was going to bring up. Yeah. I just want a nicer one. The one my mom got and gave me is like dog shit. And if I just got like a really nice one, I would never have this problem.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's just coffee machines. Unfortunately, outside of drip, which I think like you can buy a pretty cheap drip coffee machine. It might break pretty soon, but it'll be mostly consistent as long as the water delivery system doesn't get like clogged up or something. But I think like for Keurigs and espresso machines, like you need to spend a lot of money to get something that lasts a long time and stays consistent. And I mean, there's also that whole descaling thing they make you do where they're like, pour this mysterious liquid in, and it'll you probably never looked at the manual, but if you look at it, they'll be like, oh, like twice a year you should descale your machine, which just reduces like the buildup inside the machine, like inside the pipes and in the spout where the coffee comes out and where the water gets transferred in.
Yeah, I didn't know you were supposed to do that, but it's funny that you say that, because I've done that myself. Because it's just one of those weird things that I think about where it's just like, there's no way this has like some self-cleaning mechanism, right?
Absolutely
like
not,
so it's just literally one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I should probably, like, same with my fucking PS5 or my computer, right? It's like, yeah, I should fucking maintain this and
totally
make sure it's breathing properly.
Speaking of PS5s, we're back. Welcome to the Infinite Scale podcast. It's the usual, guys. I don't need to do this every time. Did you guys notice that your PS5 is really loud recently? Have you guys come to that? I was playing fucking Final Fantasy, and which is, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not like a brand new game. I mean, it's like a year or something, but it was making, I could hear the sound of the PlayStation running over the sound of the game sometimes, which was really bothersome.
I haven't noticed that, but
do you wear headphones when you play the game?
No.
Okay.
Typically don't either unless I'm in Discord. But when I'm playing solo stuff, I usually. But it depends on the game. I did for Returnal, but that was like the sound design was just immaculate, so I couldn't resist. But anyway,
I'm wondering if I've ever heard the PS5 before.
That baby, she was purring,
I've never noticed it, but what I will say is that I don't know if y'all recall when we were talking about Wukong, I mentioned my PS5 overheated for the first time.
I do remember that. Yeah.
This has happened now for a few games. They're all new.
God damn it, dude.
But I would say Wukong was like Wukong objectively
cracked it or something.
No, I don't know. But I would say Wukong was definitely the most like powerful, and I think they're all Unreal 5 games. That's where I was going.
All I'm saying is this happened for both of us suspiciously close to the PS5 Pro announcement. I think Mark Cerny flipped the switch at PlayStation HQ that said, "Start bricking them, boys."
Yeah.
Them fuckers who bought them day one, they need to upgrade.
Yeah. He's right. I will upgrade into a new PC where he releases all his games.
Yeah.
Except for Demon's Souls, which is a crime.
Oh, God, dude. I was thinking about playing that again.
Yeah, I would love to, honestly. We all should.
I'm pretty close to the platinum on that. Well, I let off with it, so let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah, do it.
Welcome to the Final Fantasy 16 podcast.
Yeah, finally.
We talk about all things Final Fantasy 16, the hot new release. I'm looking at my calendar. It is October 20th, 2023. Final Fantasy 16 came out this year. No one correct me. It's new. It's hot. It's gonna be in the Game of the Year conversation, I'm sure, at the Game Awards this year. Final Fantasy 16, everybody. What do we think?
Is a Metaphor beating it?
What Metaphor? That game comes out next year in 2024. What are you talking about?
In my mind's eye, it's beating it in Metacritic score.
He's not getting it. He's not getting it.
Merced, it's last year. Metaphor's not out yet.
Yeah.
We're recording this in 2023.
Yep. We traveled back in time so we could talk about Final Fantasy 16 in a more timely manner. I guess you could argue that because it came out on PC this year that maybe there could be, but I don't think that's how it works. That's not how it works here at this show, the official Game of the Year podcast. When we announce our Game of the Year, articles get written.
That's true.
That's a good game.
Merced, what did you what was your feeling? We talked a little bit about this before you had gotten really into the late game. I don't think on this show. I don't think we talked about it, but we talked about it like personally.
I think the most surprising thing that I could possibly bring up for that game is that I made it through probably what is the most contentious portion of that game without even realizing that I had made it through that part of the game already.
Yeah, you're talking about the middle.
Which is, the whole part where like everyone's like, yeah, you gotta do all the side quests and stuff, so you gotta, tie up all that shit and then move on to the next before you gotta move on to the next section. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I guess I'll just do all the side quests as like we're going through the game. And I don't know if it was just like a pacing thing in terms of like the difference between people who have done all the side quests and people who haven't done all the side quests. But like by the time I ran through all of the side quests prior to one of the bigger parts of the game, then like, I don't know, it took maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, literally. And I don't know if that was because of me being able to fast travel super fast, or maybe I just accidentally did it like in an incredibly efficient way or what, but I enjoyed it. And then by the time it was done, I was literally asking myself like, when is the slog? Like, when does the slog start? And it just never ever did. So
I guess the thing I'm wondering then, like for you, because you you did get through it pretty quickly. When did you start? A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
It took me about a month to get through the game in total, but only like 49 hours, I think I ended up clocking in that game.
Which there's been some patches and stuff that make that a little bit easier to get through. But what, did you at no point, like, cause I feel like the big complaints were pacing for that game, but cause there's like a big up and down structure, right? It's basically like each chapter is almost its own self-contained story where it's like you have the doing the side quests portion and like meandering around the base talking to people portion, which takes a lot of time. Hell yeah.
I do think that there is a moment after Ultima. Ultima's basically like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to release a plague in the world, and I'm also going to fucking like take Twinside, put it up into the fucking air and create my own like Ultima capsule out of it. All that. Like he did all of that shit. In order to realize his final form and blah, blah, and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then, so after all that happens and Clive and friends nearly die in the fight prior to that.
Yeah.
Then they're all like, I don't even know. They're just like, yeah, I guess we just kind of got to like tie up some loose ends, right, guys, before we end up going up there. And it's like, okay, that feels a little fucking strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, like this is like an imminent, like existential threat to your world.
Yeah.
And you guys like want to go tie up, like, I understand that there are other characters and stuff that are in dire need, and like there are other cities that are in dire need that you need to like help out. Like there's the whole thing. There's the big, honestly, a really, really big side story with your uncle who is attempting to essentially create an army to police the entirety of the continent.
Yep.
While everyone starts to get their ducks in a row after the lack of ether. Which is like a huge thing. I feel like that's a little bit like undersold what he's doing there. But
some of the
he's essentially creating a military state. But yeah, and so like you're doing all of that to help him out, and then you go up there to kill Ultima, and it like almost gives this feeling of like they know that they're gonna go kill Ultima rather than like we have to go face Ultima. And like I don't know, it was just very odd. That was odd. But this is like nitpicking. Like
well, it I get what you mean. It makes it's a little gamey the way that they break it out like that, because like most people would be like, oh, there's a huge fucking flying chunk of the earth up in the sky. By the way, did you guys notice they call it the Earth? Or is that just me?
No, I didn't notice that.
I don't remember, honestly.
Like when Ultima is like, remember when he's like transforming through all of his forms and he's like, the deep cold of Shiva or whatever. And then he's like, Earth, hard as rock or something. And he's doing the Titan stuff. I'm like, is it Earth if Earth doesn't exist? Like, we call it Earth because it's the ground beneath us. You know what I mean? But like, why? How do you know what Earth is? This is not Earth. This is like a different universe. I don't know.
I feel like Earth is used that way in other JRPGs.
Yeah, it's called like the element of
dirt, the Earth.
Yeah,
the Earth. I don't know. Fair, I get what you're saying though. I never really thought about it like that. I always thought it was two separate things.
What is it? What in Avatar, are they Earthbenders?
They're Earthbenders, yeah.
They're Earthbenders. Okay.
See what I'm saying? Like, but like, I get what you're saying because we call the Earth that because it is the Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't really care for that, but anyway, but I get what you mean now. I see that there are other examples of that same thing. Anyway, yeah. So like, it does feel, it's funny because when you're doing the Ultima fight on Ash, you're like, this is the end of the game. At least I was thinking that. I was like, this is going to be the end of the game. And then it's not. And then they make you go back and do 3 to 4 more hours of side quests to tie up everybody's story. And then it's the end of the game, which is fair. That's fine. I enjoyed those side quests probably the most. Like wrapping all those stories up made the whole thing really rewarding. But it is funny how it almost like sets you up because you're like, okay, one of two things is happening here. I'm achieving a level of finality in this universe that makes it okay for everyone else to die. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe the end of the world is kind of an inevitable thing at this point, and we're like setting this up for like kind of an emotional, you know, high stakes thing. But it also started to make me think like, there's no way Clive can die now, because it feels like he still has too much going on. Like, like there's like so much stuff. So the way that they wrap up the A story with Ultima, you know, when you defeat him and Clive is on the beach and he's turning to stone, you're like, first of all, they could find him. Like, I feel like he's just there. They could just go and get him anytime.
I mean, maybe he just dies there, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I think he does. You don't think so?
Yeah, no, he 100% dies there. But I'm saying, like, maybe they just can't get to him in time. I think the thing with Joshua, that's open ended, but Clive definitely died.
You think the thing with Joshua is open ended? Really?
Yeah,
that seemed pretty final.
Pretty much imply he's not gonna die.
Joshua
because at the end, whenever the kids
after the fight's over,
after the kids are playing,
the Phoenix thing.
And then, like, the book, there's a book that ends up getting closed. It's the book that the kids are reading far off into the future.
It's his book.
Final Fantasy, written by Joshua Clive.
Yeah, but no. He was dead, because don't you remember the Undying were writing that book? That was
Why does it say written by him then?
Because the Undying don't exist. Finger quotes.
I think that's open ended, because I was thinking the same way that you were too.
For sure not.
Okay, wait, just refresh me, because I played this the longest ago. After the final fight, isn't there a part of the cutscene where Clive does something to Joshua? And we don't see the results of that.
Yes.
But the implication there is that he is trying to save his life. And I don't know why they would show us that unless he was going to live.
But prior to that, Joshua literally says, I can mend the flesh, but I cannot mend the spirit.
Exactly. That was the thing.
There's a reason he says that.
Because they kind of wanted to fake you out with that. Like, because Clive is crying. He's like desperate to heal his brother. He heals his brother's body. Like, you see, he no longer has a huge gash in his chest where the crystal was that exploded out of him, which was pretty horribly violent for like a main character to die out that way.
It was fucking awesome. Fuck. Yeah, it was fucking.
But he heals his body, and they kind of set you up for like Joshua waking up. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, but no, I mean he's dead for sure. He just, he made him look a little better, I guess.
That's not my take at all. That was me.
I think it's open ended.
I don't think it's open ended at all. Like
me either. I think he's alive. So
that's
obviously
crazy. That's fucking crazy. And then, by the way, the entire crystal platform fucking explodes immediately after. I mean, that killing Clive as well. I mean, there's no way Joshua's alive. There's just no way. It's 0% chance.
I lean more towards you, Chandler, only because they literally say at the beginning of the game, and I think they hammer it later, where they say even the Phoenix dies. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if the Phoenix dies, he doesn't come back. And, like, the dominant will go on to someone else. Like, someone else will become the dominant for the Phoenix, right? And they take that out of your mind completely in the very beginning.
By the way, they make it clear that Joshua would have died at Phoenix Gate had what's his name not revived him, Ultima.
Yeah.
Like, they're like he was literally alive because Ultima implanted himself inside of Joshua. So I think it's pretty. And then the Undying, they're taking all those notes for that book. There's that side quest where you meet them or whatever, and they're talking about writing all the notes and keeping track of everything that Joshua is working on. And so I think they just compiled all that and just said, okay, here it is. Like, here's the book.
But why would it say written by Joshua Clive or
Joshua Rossfield? Because
I would have to have something that's telling me he's dead.
That's my only thing. That's my only fucking thing, really. Otherwise, I agree with you. But I feel like it would literally just be Order of the Phoenix or, like, I don't know, some shit. I don't fucking know.
I think it's just because it's like the Undying view themselves as an extension of the Phoenix. They are the Phoenix.
But then why wouldn't it be like written by the Phoenix, bro? Because Clive is just one of the dominants.
Yeah,
like, Joshua.
It is funny that they chose to use his name, but like I think they viewed themselves as him, and he is the most important figure in the whole story, right? I mean, he is the reason, like, Clive is the main icon, yes, but Joshua, the reason Ultima needed Joshua to live is because he enables everything else to happen, right? Like he is the one who ensured that Joshua or that Clive completes his journey. He wouldn't have been able to do it without Joshua. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there are some funny things about the story. Like, I think it's so funny that they have you get all this closure, and then they do not give you anything that happens in between the death of Clive and the rebuilding of the world, like however many hundreds of years later.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like,
that whole ending scene is
it's bittersweet,
so
you know.
good.
It's like it would have been so much nice to have more of an epilogue to the characters we were with the whole game, like what's happened with Jill and stuff like that. That would have been amazing, but it's also like there's something so, I don't know, it's just so sweet about how they did it too.
Yeah.
It really, it's like they nailed it in a way, but I do Yeah, they could have gone a few different directions with it, and I probably still would have been very satisfied, I guess.
The big picture shows that they did achieve their goal, right?
Yeah, like it wasn't all for nothing. Like, exactly. Regardless of what happens with Jill and them, they all got the world on the track they wanted it to.
Yeah, the kid using the stick in the Flintstone or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Like, that was like basically the game itself telling you, like, yeah, everything that they did culminated into like the exact thing that they wanted.
Yeah. Magic's not like, real to anyone. You know, they don't even believe that it exists. They don't believe that the crystals were ever there. Like, in fact, it was almost like they were implying that it's like our world. You know what I mean? Like the same world that we live in.
I mean, it's
like way in the future.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, really liked it. Did you do all the hunts?
I did not do all the hunts. No, I didn't end up doing that.
I did them all.
That probably would have tacked on like a good another like 4 or 5 hours doing all that.
Yeah, I did them all. I was like, I don't know why.
I was like, I do think I am a sucker for that like final Ultima fight when you have like everyone like cheering you on, and you've got like, you know, like Jill's talking to you, Otto's talking to you, Gav's talking to you, Mid's talking to you, Sid's talking to you, like
bite his ass, Clive.
Yeah. You're using like all of your different fucking icons and shit that you've accrued throughout the game, like going toe to toe with Ultima. It's like shit like that. I'm like, it's cheesy as fuck. It's really cheesy. It's been done to death. Like, I don't even know how many times in video games, but it still like hits really fucking hard. It's really good.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty. I mean, they're you know, 9 times out of 10, the main kind of backbone of a Final Fantasy protagonist is the party, right? Like, it is, I could do it with my friends. It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's because of all the people.
Is that Dragon Ball Z's message?
I mean, yeah, it's like all the people that I love empower me to defend them. You know what I mean? Like the friendship. Like, that's why he's always like, you know, you think of, I mean, I didn't watch all of Dragon Ball Z, but you get to like, you know, let's just use Frieza. It's like, oh, my friends are dead. Ah! Like Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like, like, and
that's
then,
what happens.
I mean, they do all come back, right? So it's like, whatever. But I mean, it's that's the thing, is like it's the group of people that you surround yourself with make you more powerful than a supposed god in Final Fantasy 16. Unions. This is a pro-union video game, is what I'm saying.
True. I think they do a good job of really showcasing, like, listen, Clyde has a certain set of skills, and these other people have skills that are well, like, outside of his, you know, circus of knowledge, and like he does actually need them, like for almost like they show like Mid with all of her inventions. They have Sid with his just overall like just ingeniousness, leadership capabilities, and his ability to plan things out. Otto is just good logistically with everything that's happening at the hideaway. Gav for Gav reasons, fucking
just
like, you know,
everybody. Like, everybody has a purpose. Even your fucking blacksmith, you can do quests for and have a little bit more of a rapport than you would with a blacksmith in any other RPG that you play. It's like even just little things like that. Even the lady with the fucking map that gives you the fucking like history lesson.
Okay, Vivian. She's
the other guy.
The one person I'm like, you didn't need to be here. I'm like, you didn't. I like
Vivian.
Here. I mean,
I think
fine,
Vivian is good as a stand-in. She's essentially a stand-in for Sid after Sid is gone, because she's the one that feeds the information to Clive for Clive to basically be like, okay, this is how we're going to do the plan.
Sure.
Then. Right.
And like, I'm also like geographically like really. I don't know. I can't. It's bad for me. So I respect that we have someone that seems like, someone that would fill that role for me personally as a person.
Mm-hmm.
She seems like she could, in a world without GPS, make sure I go the right direction.
Yeah, I think they could have done a better job of integrating her into the story than what they do.
Yeah,
I don't think she has.
Empathize with that.
I'm like thinking really hard. It's like they added her in like way late, like in development. They're like, we gotta get somebody because.
You think so?
Well, here's
why.
Or
do you think she's just like a part that got less attention than the rest? I think she was always gonna be there, and she just ended up not getting as much attention as some characters.
Okay, but hear me out. So you can determine which characters are kind of the most important or relevant by how often they appear, not in the cutscenes that are like in game where you're just standing stock still and talking with like a text box, but the real cutscenes where it's like, we animated this, we mocapped this, the whole thing. I don't think she has a single real cutscene. I'm thinking really hard. Like she does some voiceover.
Yeah, she is in one.
I was about to say maybe one. Yeah,
she's in one. It's right before you go fight Ultima for the final time.
Okay.
She hugs you. She hugs you before walking away.
Okay.
She's in that cutscene.
I guess I just fucking blanked that shit out. But
I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if there's anything.
She might be in the one at the end too, but I don't know.
I truly.
It would just be for a moment, so it wouldn't matter really. But
yeah, I mean, it's.
I do get what you're saying 100%. Though I think there's like a couple moments like after you fight Kupka. You fight Kupka, right?
Yeah. And then the big time jump happens.
You cut this is after the time jump, and then you cut off his arms after interacting with him again, right? Like you find him after he kidnaps Jill, you cut off his arms, the Wayload copy of Barnabas comes in, steals him, and goes away. And then after that happens, then you're like, where the fuck did this fucking guy go? Where the fuck could he have gone? And then you go to Vivian, and then Vivian's like, listen, if we look at things like logistically, how all this shit works, there's no way he went all the way around. He was bleeding out too fast. So he has to cut down through Rosaria and then go down. So she has like moments like that where it's like, oh, this is literally her purpose. Like this is what she's doing. Like, so, and she tells Sid that, and then, or Clive that, and then Clive is like, oh, okay, so then we got to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I remember now what you're saying, but like that was the probably not one of the last things I did, but I did that over a year ago. Like when the game came out, that was when I was doing that stuff. So, yeah, I think
Mid's cute as fuck.
Yeah,
that's a good character.
Girl. That's true. I mean, I really like Jill as well. She's a good character.
Yeah. I think Jill was phenomenally done by the end of it. I was like, this is fucking...
What was your favorite icon power set?
Odin.
I think so too.
Yeah, it has to be Odin.
I mean, I think Odin as a power set really only works well as a complement to the others. Like you have to be really good at... Because obviously... Odin's primary power is just stacking up hits, so then you can release the Zankutsen or whatever the fuck it was called. But I feel like in between, doing that, you need the other powers, right, to kind of carry your DPS.
Damage, really. Yeah. That was my only gripe with it, was it felt like I was cutting out some of my CC just to have the fucking Odin in there. But once you get the flow down, like if you have like you can keep like most of the other things. And then anytime your anime fucking like slice through 20 people thing comes up, then you can just spam that, then move over to the other ones and then keep doing that over and over again until your Zenketsu shit ends up getting to 5, and then you can go all out.
And I mean, my favorite thing about what they did with his power set is that the Zenkutsen is an execute. So it does more damage proportionally to how much health they have missing on their health bar.
Oh, so I never read that. I didn't know that. So like, that makes sense though.
When you do it when they're in like the last like third or fourth of their health bar, you may just kill them from one level 5 Zenkutsen, which is cool.
I definitely had like a lot of really cool moments of like the last hit in a fight slows down the game, and then you get that cool cinematic shot. Yeah, 100%. I got like 20 of those. And it felt cool every single time.
Yeah. Fun game. Really fun. I ended up enjoying it a lot, which I knew I would, but it was just, I think, so do we all agree on when the low point? I mean, you, as you were saying at the beginning, Merced, you didn't feel like there was really a low point, but
it's just a weird pacing issue. And when the high is so high and the low is so low, it's like, well, fuck, dude, why? How did? Yeah. But anyway,
to me,
I agree with that.
It's that period where after you've completely finished off Kupka, because who's after that? It's then it's Twin Side, right? Then it's the dragon stuff.
After.
Yeah. I think once you've that gap between like finishing off Kupka and Twin Side, where there's like a lot of side stuff to do. All the stories are kind of in the middle. There's not really a lot going on for the characters. They're like treading water until they start to get the final closure arc going. That to me, that was where I quit. And that to me was like
So you quit before Bahamut or after Bahamut?
Before, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking after Bahamut is when the game.
There's like there's like 3 separate times where the game kind of throws like sets of side missions at you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Chandler's right. It's right before Twin Side, then it's after Twin Side before you go to Ash, and then after Ash is when you get the last set. So it's like
they're like 3-hour chunks of side quests basically.
And because of the way that they exist is they're all their own separate stories. So like the first set is going to be the most boring out of like all of them because they're just setting up all the characters essentially. Like Wade's is like the most boring. I don't care about Wade at all, but that's whatever.
Did you guys get every memento?
Oh fuck, I was missing one at the end.
Yeah. So
do you know which one it is?
There's apparently only one you can get in a New Game Plus run.
That's retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got all the other ones.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Good game.
I think this is my favorite Final Fantasy though. I believe so. We'll see as time goes on and the newness wears off on me.
Okay, yeah, you did play 7 Remake, so you like it more than 7 Remake.
I 100% like it more than 7 Remake, but that speaks more to my taste in terms of like the worlds that I like more than anything else. Because 7 Remake as a game intergrade is like really really fucking good.
I think the gameplay in 7 Remake is better.
I think I would probably agree with that. I think so.
But the I think Final Fantasy 16. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just guessing. I think there probably was a version of this game where they intended to have like an actual party system, not like maybe controlling them individually, but kind of like how you have commands that you can give to Torgal. I think they probably intended to have that for all characters on some capacity, but
even knowing it's like Yoshi P.
I mean, why do it just for Torgal,
Yoshi P
though?
didn't do the Yoshi P.
Well,
didn't do the
but I mean,
mechanics,
his general direction. That's not like that's not his style coming from 14. Even though you're right, Merced. But then to that point, the DMC combat director, who has more hands-on. It's not his style either.
It's just weird to do it just for Torgal. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that system, because it's very underutilized. Like, Torgal is cool.
I never used it.
One of the best characters.
It's like,
but it doesn't.
I spammed the heal, but
it's too clunky, because then you have to do this and then fucking just use him the whole time with
switching over, and it makes you switch off of your healing items, which is always dangerous because you can go down pretty quick if you're not, especially in boss fights, if you're not paying attention. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it was a weird choice, and I feel like they could have added some depth by doing it that way. Also, they didn't need to make regular enemies as tanky randomly as they did, I think.
I think I think I had a much easier time with that stuff than most other people. Like, either my tolerance for that is just higher or something, because whenever I went on to look on Reddit and shit, because I needed to see if I had the opposite opinion of Reddit, and they were all saying, like, yeah, this is like basically like the enemies are just like sponges for damage towards the end, which I can definitely understand. Well, prior to the getting Odin.
I think the problem is that it's not like, okay, if like, we'll use the part where you're running through the city on Ash, when you're headed to meet Barnabas, or is it? No, it's after Barnabas when you're headed to meet Ultima at the dock area, whatever that is. Which, what a strange way for that to end, by the way, where he's just now on the other side of this door for some reason. He's not like in a building. He's just standing outside.
And then he just transfers you to another arena anyway.
Yeah, he's like, welcome to my pocket dimension, whatever, Jujutsu Kaisen bullshit.
Yeah, Genjutsu,
yeah, so very strange for them to even bother doing any of that, because why not just have him show up at wherever you are and teleport you to the pocket dimension? Anyway, I don't know. But so you run through that whole city, and you'll fight like 30 guys who die in like 4 hits, just to come up to one big guy with an axe who then is really spongy, and then you got to fight him for a while. Just the way it flows is extremely strange. To me, just remove all of the guys who die in 1 hit. Like, why even have an encounter where everyone dies in 1 hit? What I'm talking about. It's like
cool.
It's that fight where
it's just
I guess
power fantasy game.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because literally, like, if you have the Zenketsu thing, then you just spam that the whole. That's all I did through that whole segment of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Was I didn't even care about my other abilities, because my other abilities were just taking longer for me to build up Zenketsu to just kill them all in 1 hit. So it was literally more efficient. I think that part was just poorly done. Like, if they're gonna make them that squishy, just make them squishy. Period. Or make them tankier. Or something.
Exactly.
Just don't do it the way that they did it. Where I'm like,
just figure out something. By the way, I just wanted to look this up because we've been saying Odin's power set wrong, and I knew we were saying it wrong, but I wanted to make sure that we get it right at some point. Zantetsuken.
Whatever. Fucking leaves.
Zantetsuken. And I used the dancing steel triangle, and that was
I did that.
That was my shit,
because I just did that over and over again, then swapped over to my other abilities, then swapped back whenever that was up, because that was like an 8-second cooldown or something. It was like some absurd shit.
Gungnir seemed pretty cool as well, but I didn't end up using it. Funny game. I mean, it's got some weird moments. Is this the only Final Fantasy game where characters for sure openly have sex? Like, is that? Do we feel like that's
like for sure?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so as well. You think now that they've opened that, they've uncorked that bottle?
I am interested to see if we get another rated M Final Fantasy.
Do we get to see Tifa and Cloud fuck?
Play Rebirth. Haha.
That's a no.
Play Rebirth.
Yeah, I do need to finish Rebirth.
Max out your friendship with whoever you take on the date. That's all I'll say, boys.
We gotta be able to see it on screen.
It's gonna be
see it on screen. I don't want some fucking golden saucer shit from like way back in the day where they just like allude to it and like that's it. Just
what?
You just
so max out your friendship with whoever you take on the date, boys.
This is bullshit. He's lying. He just wants us to play fucking Rebirth.
I'll play it when it comes out on PC. I'm so glad I actually waited for 16 to come out on PC too. So now I'm definitely gonna wait for.
It does run not that well on PS5, but I think it didn't really bother me that much. Like there were moments where I was like, I don't think it should run this bad, but it didn't affect the game at all.
That's one of those things you get used to it anyway, right? It's like,
I mean, that's true, but like I don't think this game really requires. You know what I mean? Like it's not like really anything's happening that you need like frame perfect fucking accuracy. Like it's not like a Souls game where you're like, okay, when this runs bad, I'm like actively angry. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be curious. I kept thinking the whole time, I was like, if I was playing this on a PS5 Pro, would it still have these issues? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know the answer to that question, which...
they have the Digital Foundry did that thing.
They did, yeah. I watched some of it. It didn't... I mean, I'm about a week and a half out of the loop because I've been kind of not home, so I haven't been watching Digital Foundry, but I did watch one of their videos where they were like, yeah, for some games it's way more impactful than we expected or something. And it's just like, oh God. But like, that's the thing is like, I think the problem with Final Fantasy 16 is that it has an uncapped frame rate. So like at any moment it's running between like 60 and 40 on the performance mode.
Yeah.
And then in the graphics mode, it's just locked at 30. If I'm playing it on a PS5 Pro and it's an uncapped frame rate, it should just be at 60 all the time. Otherwise, why did I pay however many $700 or whatever? I don't know.
There's got to be some reason why they're just unable to do that. But
I mean, they may it may be doing it. I mean, that's the thing. Nobody's covering Final Fantasy 16 because the upgrade, maybe it's not worth it or whatever. They're focusing on games that Sony right now wants people to focus on, right? It's like Dragon's Dogma 2, or something that's heavy, right? But
yeah,
I don't know.
And now we're yoinking. The PC Master Race is yoinking yet another one of the precious PS5 games. So we're gonna be getting Spider-Man 2 soon.
Oh, you guys were always
holy fuck! I can't wait to see how that runs on PC, dude.
You guys were always gonna get that.
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that wasn't a surprise. But we're also illegally yoinking Bloodborne away from the console peasants.
Yeah, I mean...
soon.
Yeah. We'll see.
Have you seen the latest ones? The latest ones are like videos of people playing Bloodborne.
It's saw it like a week ago or so. It looked pretty good. I mean, but...
yeah, it's just a matter of time. I mean... right?
Yeah, emulation.
It's just a matter of time.
It's emulation's all brute forcing. Once CPUs get powerful enough and people figure out how to get stuff working, then it's
whoever's drilling it right now is drilling it really hard, and they're clearly making good progress. Is what I mean. So it's just like it clearly seems like a matter of time.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Okay. What else have we been playing?
I think.
Okay.
I think. What? Oh, did you
World.
see? Oh yeah, Cross has been playing Power World. How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
It's good. Yeah, I like it. It's exactly what I want from these kinds of games. Very satisfying. Craft build, survival bullshit. Feels like Valheim with Pokemon, and it works.
Basically, yeah. It's like I don't even know what do we call those games where it's essentially just like a upgrade treadmill. That's like the main loop of the game is you just go up and up and up or down and down and down.
I call them bullshit.
A build tree over and over and over again until you get to the part of the build tree that says you win the game. What do we call those? Factorio likes?
I it's like I avoid it so much. I don't even want to throw my hat in the ring on naming this.
They're becoming so common. You think it's slop. Chandler believes it's slop game.
I do. I hate it so much. It's like hate is like too strong because it makes it seem like I care more than I do. I get exhausted. I get exhausted just thinking about it. I mean, I think competitive games are different because the treadmill is getting better at the game, right? I mean, you could say that that's true for single player games too, but which, I mean, fair enough. If that's what you like, then it is. It's valid for you. I really don't see any value in me playing Power World. I value my time more than playing Power World. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Deadlock. It's like, unless I'm going to commit so much time to it that I can actually get really, really, really good at it, it's like I know I'm going to cap out at a certain level based on the amount of time I want to commit to a competitive game. So why waste the time at all if I'm going to feel bad about how good I'm not and not going to want to invest the time otherwise? I'm just going to stay at a certain level and not have much fun, so just not play it. Whereas Power World, I'm going to have fun no matter how good or bad I am at it every moment of the way. And that's a me thing. Obviously, I know you wouldn't enjoy Power World. That's not what I'm saying. But
yeah.
In terms of how I value my time for a competitive experience versus a very casual one.
No, I mean, that's totally fair. I have nothing against people who enjoy those games.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I do think it is funny, Power World specifically being one that you latch onto and everybody latched onto, because I think the thing that it has, the gimmick that it has for it that's different from all the others is just Pokemon, right? So it's like, if you like...
Well, yeah, that's true. But what's cool that I've kind of, me personally, fallen in love with the most is sort of the getting the Pokemon that have the unique set of traits for your base where you can put them to work, and sort of min-maxing my production and them as my workers, like my little slave workers, and like trying to get the best mixture of traits to have a fully operational, self-sustaining, like I'm at that point now where like my resources are just like a fucking like infinite loop of themselves. Like I'm getting the stone, turning that into the crystal, which I'm using to make it the balls, and I'm getting the ore to make the ingot, to make everything else, and I'm making the berries and getting the flour to make all the pastries, and it's like, it's all just like now a loop on itself. And I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty much hitting a point where I'm like gonna plateau and kind of be bored, but it's been fun setting it all up and getting the,
Is it 1.0? That was the big release, right? It finally.
It's still in early access.
No? Okay.
Nope. Yeah, on console and PC still.
Do they have a timeline for when it's like totally done?
I looked into it a little bit when I bought it, what kind of like roadmap they have, and they had a roadmap. I don't remember if they had a idea for full release or not.
Okay.
I can't remember. But I am interested to see what their version of like full release will look like and what the game will kind of be. Because I think it's really, really fun. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with Craftopia at all, but
yeah, that was their
I didn't know until I bought it that it was made by them, and it definitely feels like that vision fully realized, because Craftopia was like a good idea, bad execution. And I remember trying it when it was on Game Pass, and I was like, damn, dude, they almost nailed this. It's just not quite there. And then I do feel like they nailed it with Power World.
I think a lot of people were kind of mad that they abandoned Craftopia in favor of Power World, honestly, but
I was mad that Craftopia got abandoned until I knew that was because it was Power World.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no complaints. I feel like it's the right move to just leave behind the poorly executed idea and just go ahead and move forward with the better idea. It makes more sense to me.
Who's your favorite PAL?
The panda.
PAL. I'm gonna see what this looks like. PAL World.
Mossanda, I think is what it's called.
PAL World.
It's like
Panda.
a moss and panda.
Mossanda, yeah. Oh, there's like different. What's Lux mean? Is that like a shiny?
No, it's like the bigger version of it you find later at a higher level that's an electric type instead of a grass type.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so throughout the like skill tree where you unlock, new levels of crafting and stuff as you're leveling up, you get mounts for a bunch of different pals that you've caught. And when you get the one for the panda, it doesn't even really tell you that it's a mount. It just tells you that it's a grenade launcher. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because some of the other pals you unlock weapons for as well. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I would love to give him a grenade launcher. And then you go and you use it, and you start riding it like the other mounts, except I didn't know it was going to be a mount. And you can just shoot the grenade launcher like constantly, basically, while you're riding him, and do all his moves as well while you're riding him. It's so fucking fun. It's the most fun I've had by far, just going around blowing shit up. They'll like literally go flying. The physics in the ragdoll for the pals when they like get launched is insane.
And fall over. Yeah.
Well, that too. But if they don't die and you just like send them flying with like some sort of, crazy momentum, like Breath of the Wild style, they just go fucking like off into the distance. It's great.
Is there lore?
If there is, I have no idea what it is.
Sick.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah,
there was a
cutscene.
There was a cutscene when I booted up the game for the first time and started my new world or whatever, and I skipped it. So
I'm on the Power World wiki, and there's not a lore section, so I think we're safe.
Hell yeah, dude!
Here, about right.
Let me read you the trivia section here. Their name may come from the words moss and panda.
That's really, really huge. That's true.
Yeah, that's a breakthrough.
Somebody had to sit down and write that and be like, this was a valuable use of my time on this earth.
Who knows? I mean, that guy might be reaching.
Yeah, that's true.
A little bit.
Source. I'm going to comment. Source.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Chandler? What have you been sticking your nose in?
I have been playing Balatro on my phone during my travels. I don't want to talk about it too much because I haven't played a lot. I've done like 4 runs maybe, and I've gotten to like ante 7, I think, out of those 4 runs. I think 5 to 7 is generally where I get to before I fail out. That's it. I've just tried every deck I've unlocked so far. I think I have like red, blue, yellow, green. Haven't used green yet, but I think blue deck so far is my go-to. I've done 2 runs as blue and 1 as the others. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun game. There's not much else to say. I turned on the cosmetics for the cards last night so I can play. The Witcher, Among Us, and
Vampire Survivors and Dredge.
Oh, I haven't unlocked Dredge yet. Okay, cool. Oh no. It's Dave the Diver is what it is.
Dave the Diver. It is something, yeah.
Yeah. That is.
Which is a great game.
Yes, top tier.
Need to play it, I think, but maybe someday.
You should. Holy shit, yeah. That's a great game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love in that game.
But I like just the vibe of Balatro it's like a warm blanket. It just scoops you in. Even when you know you're going to lose, like you feel still like you're like, I'll just go again. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's the minute to minute is just so fun that you don't get mad if you fail out. So, that's been, most of my travel experience. I did play like the first couple of hours of that new Zelda. I have not gotten back to it yet, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but I was convinced by the hilarity of, I guess, just how hard they lean into the gimmick.
What's the gimmick?
Being able to copy all enemies and all objects in the environment and use them to solve problems. It yeah, I was just like, I could see how this is stupid, you know? Like I was watching, like I saw a clip online. I think what sold me on it, I saw a clip online of somebody summoning a bed and getting in it to heal during a boss fight. Like going to sleep in the bed so they could heal because they didn't have any healing items. And I was like, all right, I'll give this a shot. Like,
yeah, that shit's supposed to be like broken.
Yeah. So it does seem pretty fun. It runs like doo-doo on the Switch. So, you know, what else is there to say about that?
Doo-doo.
I mean, look forward to Switch 2 in April, I guess, is really all there is to say about that. And then I did play a few hours of Metaphor before I went on my trip. A few more hours after the demo. And everybody's... I mean, I think we said everything we had to say so far in our demo talk last time. I mean, it is just... I think it's probably the best game Atlas has made. I think that's just it. I mean, I don't know. I need to wait till the end to really make that statement definitive, but Persona 4 is previously my favorite. There's a lot of problems with Persona 4 gameplay-wise. There's a lot of problems with every Persona game gameplay-wise, and I think they might have fixed everything. You know, my usual method, I think we've talked about this before, my usual method of getting through a Persona game is this. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm in a dungeon, I turn the volume all the way down, and I turn a podcast on, and I zone out. I disassociate from playing the game.
I don't think that there's another way to play these kinds of games.
I have not even considered doing that in Metaphor yet. The gameplay of Metaphor is just that good. Like, it's just fun. It's that fun. That I haven't needed to do that yet. Now, that's not to say I never will.
Maybe after hour 40.
Exactly. Or, you know, because so far the dungeons have been engaging enough, but I mean, it's possible that they'll fall apart at some point. But also the game is like on whatever the middle difficulty is, the standard, bit more challenging after in this first like non-demo dungeon than I was expecting. Like, Persona games do ramp up in difficulty, kind of in a bullshit way. I think at the end of Persona 5, it gets really annoying. And I kind of think that this is more hard than I remember the beginning of Persona 3, 4, 5 being. So,
yeah, I'm excited to jump into it. Maybe not soon, but eventually in the future. We'll see. But I mean, that game is fucking cooking on the Metacritic.
It's cooking
level.
And somehow all of the like anti-woke, anti-DEI people are not calling that game out for being woke, despite the fact that it's clearly woke.
Oh, just like the social commentary aspects of it.
Yeah, it's like
talking about otherwise.
It's like entirely
social commentaries.
Yeah, it's like everything that they stand against, it's for. You know what I mean? It's like anti-racism, anti-classism, anti-discrimination, pro DEI. Like, it's like everything that they hate in one game, and somehow they do not care. I don't even think there's like a romance portion. Like, I think it's like legit taking everything out that they're like foaming at the mouth about. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess this really proves that the whole argument and the whole ideology is just picking and choosing things that they specifically find annoying. And it actually has no moral or logical standing or backbone in any capacity. I mean, it's literally like what games are woke and what games aren't woke are literally just, do I like this game or not? If not, then it's woke. Like that's basically it.
Yeah.
Or does it violate a specific thing that I hate? Like, you know, I don't know. You know what? Oh my God.
They are spineless creatures.
Is there a black character in Metaphor?
No, I don't think so.
That's
I've
it, dude.
On screen.
That's it.
The lion people, those are the black people. They're lion people, right? There's some weird shit.
Yeah, there's like a cat but all of them, they all have different skin colors though. Like all of the different quote unquote races and metaphor have different skin colors. Like there's no like one skin color per fantasy race. It's like, I don't know. Right?
I'm trying to find the races in this game. Oh, there's that brown skin chick.
Who?
That's gotta infuriate them.
Which one? List of. Have I not gotten there yet?
I don't think you. Yeah, no. Okay, if you've only played a few hours, you haven't seen her.
Well, did you see her in the game?
No, I've just been seeing a lot of discussion about this game.
I see. Okay. Yeah, no, because I haven't. Okay, they call them tribes, by the way, not races. Okay, the Klimar, which is like the horned people, they're like the highest class, right? Rusant, which is, I guess, what Hulkenberg is. Haven't seen an Ugif yet, or whatever the hell. Nydia. The Parapoos. Is that what you're talking about? The Parapoos? They're like cat dog people? I don't know.
Oh, I have no clue.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Zorba. Half-bloods. Oh, wow. Mixed race people.
Yeah, I don't think
crazy.
I don't think they will ever care. Yeah. Like actually give a fuck about anything.
No. It's just embarrassing. It's like, or like, I don't know. There's like
whatever they perceive as if it's an existential threat or they perceive it as an existential threat, then they just have to tag on one of their bad words to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the bad words don't matter. They don't actually give a fuck about anything.
What's the most woke game?
That game that came out like a month or two ago, right? The one that flopped super fucking hard because it was way too woke. Like actually, because what was it, Dustborn?
Oh, is that?
Yeah, Dustborn. It was like annoying. If you watched any of the
really?
If you watched any of the gameplay and stuff, yeah, it was just like they're attempting to like some of the abilities was like trigger or like it's just like I don't know. It's too on the nose. They're trying to do it tongue in cheek, which is why they're so blatant about it.
I see.
But it's just like, it's like really, it's exhausting. Is what it is.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about this game. I didn't even really look into it. I mean, not for any reason other than it just didn't look like a game that I would enjoy playing.
I mean, it's got mostly positive reviews, so I might be wrong. Maybe it didn't do really all that badly. But I mean, it is like mostly positive after like 200 reviews, and it's been out since
August
20th, which is pretty bad.
That is not a lot. Yeah, so you can assume they sold maybe 2,000 to 3,000 copies on Steam.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about like just a level of disinterest that you never ever want to see in a game.
Yeah.
It's like it's the shit that killed Concord. I think whenever it comes to like extremely
the shit that killed Concord.
It is.
But I mean, Concord didn't die because it was woke. It died and woke, like it doesn't even mean anything. I can feel the
vibes.
But
I can feel the vibes, bro. I got it. I knew exactly the bright-haired people that were behind the development of that game. I could stare at that game for 20 seconds and I would be able to tell you.
I see you Absolutely. And I are not aligned in why that game was not good.
I mean, like you could say plenty of things, right? Like, I mean, that it was it felt uninspired in multiple areas, that the game design in and of it, or the character design in and of itself, was not incredibly interesting. Mm-hmm. So but I think a lot of that comes a lot of that comes off of the back of a game design philosophy that is inherently inspired by like more so far left progressive ideas, where like I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Just in character design alone, you don't think so?
No, I think it has. So. I think the ideology of the developers has zero bearing on the quality of the product. Like in a sense that you're kind of buying into their argument a little bit that like there's inherent groups of people who will produce bad work because of their ideology, which I think is not true. Explicitly not true. But that said, unfortunately, Concord is an example of people who, tried to make, something different character design wise that failed to make it appealing, right? Like you could say that the designs are woke. They don't even feel especially interesting in that regard. Like, I was kind of joking when I asked the question, what's the most woke game? I mean, it's Disco Elysium, right? Like, by a lot.
If we're being real, yeah.
Like, by a long shot it is. And they managed to find...
in a good way, though, right? Not in the memey, like, it's too woke kind of way.
No.
Like, the values that Disco Elysium espouse are very, very far left, like very progressive.
I'm using the term woke.
Oh, okay.
I'm using the term woke and kind of like a poking fun at the way people use it online, which is to mean things that
that's why I'm trying to make sure, like,
But what I'm saying is, like, by their standards, by their objective measurement, Disco Elysium would be very woke because it's an extremely far left. But also the character designs, like, there's very few people in Disco Elysium that would be deemed traditionally appealing, in the same way that, like, the Concord, character designs were not really, like, a lot of these people, when they say woke, especially for women or female characters, they're like, oh, I don't want to fuck it, right? So therefore it's a bad design. That's why everybody got behind Stellar Blade. They're like, I'd fuck the Korean lady. You know what I mean? Sure, they're like, that's why it's a good design. I'd fuck the lady.
That's also kind of where I'm coming from, is I feel like that these types of character designs that you do see in Concord, you wouldn't really see coming from a studio that has a design or a ideological bend that is non-progressive.
But
right?
What I'm saying is that, like, the progressive designs in Disco Elysium managed to still be good designs.
I don't think it's inherently bad. I agree with you. Yeah, I don't think that inherently people who are developers of, like, any certain ideology are going to create a bad product, regardless of what the ideology is.
Right. Yeah. So it's funny though. This is the thing about these kinds of conversations, is that the goalpost doesn't exist. It's imaginary, right? So they can't move it because it's not real. Like, they don't have a well-defined meaning for their terminology. They don't have a well-defined meaning for their ideology, which means that it can mean anything, and they can just set up the goalpost wherever they want it to be. They're like, we're going for a field goal, and it's 2 fucking yards. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they manage to control the narrative in a way that makes it impossible to argue against. So I don't know. It's I think about this honestly too much. But
no, I think I agree with what you're saying. It's almost as though, like, they are intuiting like the ideology of the art, right?
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as they see any aspect of the art that they could possibly even, like, remotely intuit to be, like, progressive, then that's where the label's going to land. Period.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that only extends so far as, like, the entire picture of the product in and of itself. Yeah. It's like you had a great example. It's like Stellar Blade. It's like, these are not all white women. These are all non-white women that are being presented, but they're also being presented in a scantily clad way, right? In an obviously, like, sexual
objectification,
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the actual, like, the smaller things where it's like, oh, this isn't, like, representing, like, white people as a whole or anything like that, but also at the exact same time, like, it is representing something that I enjoy, which is sexy women in my video games, which I think we can all enjoy. But
yeah, agreed. I mean, I think
it's all very picky and choosy is basically what I'm saying.
I would say, a lot of people do enjoy Nier Automata, despite that it has that same thing going on, right? But, like, it does it in a way that feels different. It feels like it has artistic merit. And not that Stellar Blade doesn't. I didn't play the game. I don't really know what the story is, but I think you could make an argument from reading it in an art level, like artistic intent, purpose of the characters, purpose of the story. There's a reason why 2B is that design in the world, right? Like, you could make that argument. I don't know if you can make that argument in Stellar Blade. Maybe you can, but I didn't seem that way to
Quiet. Me. Who knows?
Right. I mean, and Quiet is, I would say, a less good example of the 2B design style, right? Where it's like, Quiet. Probably.
It feels very slapped on.
Correct. Probably one of Hideo Kojima's worst reasons for doing that. Here's a good Metal Gear Solid example. Metal Gear Solid 3. Eva? Is that her name?
Did she have a reason for not having her fucking suit zipped up all the way?
Yes.
I genuinely don't remember. I want to play those games again.
She's a spy. Her entire reason is that she's trying to seduce Snake. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Okay. I mean, she by the way, that she uses that as like an empowerment. She's also a good spy. Like she's proficient and capable as a character, as a person, but she uses her like sex appeal as a weapon against characters. She wins in the end. Remember, she totally fucks Snake over. That's like part of the deal. So I think it's interesting. Yeah. It is Eva, right? That's her name? Yeah. Okay.
Her name is Eva, yeah.
Jesus. I'm like,
I should buy those again. I didn't even buy them when I was younger.
Do we still think that game is we still think that remake's coming out this year?
I don't know. When was our cutoff thing? Not cutoff, but when did we think it was going to get announced?
We thought that maybe it would be out in time for the 20th anniversary of original Metal Gear Solid, which is in less than a month now.
I think there's still a chance.
November 17th. You think it'll be out by November 17th? That's like 5 weeks away.
Yeah. We still got a chance.
4 weeks away.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I
just gotta say the word.
It's possible. Yeah.
Okay.
They just gotta say the word, dude. Let it rip.
Let it rip.
Let it rip.
So I think I think we are gonna have Metaphor will be sweeping all the awards this year. I think Atlas is finally gonna get the dog. The dog is gonna have their day.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean,
it's gonna happen.
I don't know about a sweep, but
it'll get visual design.
Okay.
It could get music. It's definitely gonna get Game of the Year.
Who's the main competition, you think? Rebirth?
Rebirth, 100%, yes.
Is there another game that you're like...
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
Dragon Age? Yeah, Astrobot.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Dragon Age... Who knows? Dragon Age might come out and it might shock the world. They might finally come back.
People are cooming over
game.
Dragon Age.
I think they are. I think it seems like they're going to pull it off. I'm feeling maybe it won't be a 10 out of 10, but I think they are pulling it off. Yeah.
So we'll see then. Because that's how soon is that?
Did you guys see?
It's in 10 days. 11 days. Sorry.
Did you guys see the Stalker 2 previews? I know you're not that interested in that game, but just for journalistic reasons, did you see it?
No.
Everybody is cooming over that game too. It seems like it's like the Stalker Metro game that everybody's been wanting.
Hell yeah. I'm interested in playing it.
It's Game Pass.
I definitely don't have my eyes as glued to it for sure, but I definitely do want to play it. A modern Stalker sounds like just what I want right now.
I think I typed in Stalker, like to type in Stalker 2 previews, and the first result is, what is the difference between stalking and aggravated stalking? Should I click it? Should I click it? Here we go. Curious. I'm actually going to read all these. Okay. What is the difference between stalking and aggravated stalking? Number 1. Second result, what is misdemeanor stalking? Third result, why do stalkers stop stalking? Fourth result, does stalking go on your record? Oh, man. this is This is the result of Twitch, by the way. Twitch TV has
all asking for a friend. Have you seen those fucking like the clips of stalkers for like streamers where they'll just stand like 5 feet away from them, just staring at them basically?
I try to avoid.
That's just crazy, dude. Think about the amount of confidence you have to have as an individual. That guy could be going places, but instead he's just like standing there staring at another human being.
Yeah.
While they stream.
I can't imagine the mindset you have to be in to spend your time that way, I guess.
That either lack of self-awareness or I don't even know, lack of fucking pride, dude. Yeah. He could be used for so many things, for the betterment of society in some ways, but
yeah.
Is everything sorted?
Oops. I just turned on I clicked on a bit of preview coverage for Stalker 2, and it played a small video clip. Goddamn internet.
Stalker sounds fun.
I think that let me just read this. Let me read this little blip from Games Radar. Ultimately, I do think Stalker 2 is going to take a lot of players on Xbox and PC by surprise. The likes of Elden Ring, along with a bloom in realistic difficulty modes, shows that we're generally willing to get punished time and again if it's for a world worth surviving in. The Zone follows this rule. After all, what's a little bit of radiation between friends? I ended my time in Stalker 2 battered, bruised, and low on just about every supply imaginable, but came away with a craving to let my curiosity guide me just one more moldering warehouse or dark cave, to score just one more thunking headshot before being killed myself. No, the Zone might not want me there, but given how much fun defying it is, I can think of no place I'd rather be dying at. So it seems like it's gonna get there.
How many or how much of this development team has come from
as a credit? That's written by Andrew Brown at Games Radar. Sorry, what?
How much of this development team is like a surviving from the original Stalker games?
So that's really the question.
Yeah, and Shadow Chernobyl.
I actually haven't had the time yet, but they did upload a development documentary that, because they were a Ukrainian studio, always have been from original Stalker days, and they kind of talk about their process of making the game, and obviously cover how it is making a game in a country that is
war zone
in war actively. So I think yeah, they probably do address that in the documentary, but to be honest with you, I don't know if it's a lot. Like, my understanding, I mean, we never thought we were going to get another Stalker game because GSC Game Worlds went through a bit of trouble at the end there after they made their last one in what was, I guess, like 2012. And so it seemed like, was it really 2012? That's probably right. Let's see. Okay, no, even earlier, actually. So I was totally wrong. 2009 was Call of Pripyat. So, which was a really good game, by far, functionally the best Stalker game, although vibes-wise, the original is still probably the favorite. At that point in time, it seemed like GSC Game World was going to dissolve because they hadn't really hit commercial success, and they hadn't really found funding in a way that made it easy. Like, the Metro developer is also a Ukrainian studio. They had taken some of the developers from the Stalker games over the years. People were saying that the culture at GSC Game Worlds was kind of a mess. So it seemed like they were like basically on the brink of collapse, and they went into hibernation for a while, and then they found some new funding. And I'm not sure who. I guess they are still somehow privately owned and totally independent. So kind of weird, but it did sort of seem like they were done. Development was discontinued for Stalker 2 originally in 2011. So they closed the studio and then it reopened in 2014. So who knows really what the hell is going on. So I doubt there's a lot of carryover staff in a broad sense. But and it does say they have about 300 employees, which is a pretty big studio. So
yeah,
I don't know. I need to watch that documentary.
But so hey, I can, as long as it's looking good.
Yeah, and it's Game Pass. I think we should all play it.
I'm shocked that it's Game Pass, but fuck yeah.
I think Xbox threw them some money a few years ago to finish up development. So
yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Overall, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% gonna play it. So what?
I'll be watching it.
Did you never play the originals, Crossley?
Nope.
November 20th is released, so
super soon.
I'm insanely excited. That could end up being game of the year for me if it turns out. But this has been a good year.
It's turned out to be a better year than I thought it was going to be. I thought this year was going to be kind of a lull, and I still have not started playing my fucking indie games.
Yeah, I did start Crow Country.
Oh, nice.
But I don't have enough to say about it yet, but I did start it. I had to turn it off because I didn't have my headphones in, and Jennifer was like, what are those horrible sounds?
That game's supposed to be like quick to play. It's supposed to be like, I think like 6 or 7 hours. I think it's what someone told me.
Yeah, so. 6, 7, 8, depending on how good you are at puzzles, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anything else you guys been playing? Are we wrapping up?
I think that's about it. I think I spent most of my time fucking, because I've been spending so much of my time like coding, and then the only game that I've been playing really is like Final Fantasy 16, some Deadlock.
I've been playing Sparking Zero, but there's not much to say, I guess, you know?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Fun. It's fun. I like it.
People are pogging out.
I'm surprised you're not playing that, Merced. That game seems like it was made for you.
It is on Fit Girl. You could play it for free.
I'm not even gonna lie. That's $70 price tag. I'm just like,
Fit Girl. What the fuck is that?
She's a repacker that's really good.
Oh, okay. But you can't multiplayer if you do it that way, right?
No.
So, I mean,
you can't. I mean, like in some incredibly rare cases, you can.
I feel like half the reason that people play those games is to beat up on their friends, right? I mean, isn't it? Or no? Am I wrong?
I mean, I guess kinda. I played Tenkaichi like for probably hundreds of hours as a tiny little kid.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a little bit of both, I guess. Like the game's pretty unbalanced, so it's definitely silly to play with your friends, but I wouldn't say that's like the point. I think the point is to just have fun in the Dragon Ball, vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the originals and stuff, I align with Merced. I played all the Budokais and all the Tenkaichis on my own for like countless hours, and this is the same vibe. I mean, in the same way that if like there was a new Naruto Storm game that Merced maybe wanted to play but didn't want to buy, and it was a repack, I would be like, yeah, just go fucking play it. I only bought it because I'm a sicko.
Yeah, it's truly just a $70 price tag. It's just too steep.
For me right now. It is. Yeah.
And I know that like it being, well, actually maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that the price might drop in like a year. Depending on how popular this is, it could be one of those things that just they stick it.
Nah, only Nintendo games, only Nintendo, and I guess Call of Duty on some level does. Although that's changing. I feel like this last year's Call of Duty went on sale a bunch because it wasn't doing as well. But I mean, Bandai Namco loves to put games on sale. This game will be fucking $40, $50 by the end of the year. I think like it'll be on Christmas sale for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess those are like the main games that have come out in the past few weeks, month.
Is Sparking Zero just because it's made? I mean, obviously it's Bandai, so they've done most of the arena fighters over the last 49 years or however long they've been making these fucking games. I associate the start of this genre with the Naruto games. Is that accurate? Like, is that...
Well, Tenkaichi came out prior. Budokai came out prior.
But Budokai wasn't... Like, Budokai started off not 2D literally,
Budokai,
but like...
The Budokai series and the Tenkaichi Budokai series are made by two different groups, and they're two different types of games too. Budokai original 1 through 3 is like 2D fighting basically, and then the Tenkaichi series is the first one that I know of that brought it into like the arena fighter sort of camera behind you.
Okay,
you can move around in an open arena.
Was Tenkaichi before the Naruto games or after?
Absolutely, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was before.
These games came out like a long time ago.
The original Naruto fighters pre Naruto Storm, which would have been on PS3. Was Ultimate Ninja, which was similar to Budokai original. It was like a 2D fighter.
Okay.
And it was based as fuck. It was so...
That
Ultimate
was
Ninja
like
goes
crazy.
Hard. Yeah.
It's really good.
I vaguely remember us playing those games together, like in high school. Like,
hell yeah.
They're fun.
They're
super fun.
I never liked any of them, but I did respect how cool it was. Okay. And then, so we had the Tenkaichi Budokai stuff. And then they've kind of just been cooking away. There's been like probably 9 different teams making Dragon Ball games. Is this the original like Tenkaichi team that did Sparking Zero, or do we have any idea?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
it's definitely a spiritual successor in design philosophy and how they've gone about trying to... What this game is, it's like clearly trying to be both in name, brand, and just everything about it is trying to be a new one of those. But I don't know if it's made by the same actual people. But
it's got it by Bandai, right?
Well, the published, yeah. I'm talking about the individuals.
And they're only calling it Sparking Zero. They're only calling it Sparking Zero because that was the original name for the Eastern releases, right?
Yeah, and the
Tenkaichi games were called Sparking.
In the East were called Sparking, and so yes, it's called.
So like for all intents and purposes, it's really just a sequel.
So
yes. But yeah,
and
it might as well be. I just don't know literally.
It's the same team. It's the same team that was making the Ninja Storm games. I believe. I mean,
it's not CyberConnect 2. No,
it's not. Okay.
No, they made. Funny you should ask. They made Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Oh, really?
Which is really good. Yeah, I just played it before Sparking Zero came out, and oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's clearly a CyberConnect game. It's like cinematic as fuck through and through.
It seems janky. Is it janky or no? I mean, I was kind of like, really?
No, Kakarot's incredible. That's one of the best games I've ever played.
Whoa. And so you like Kakarot more than Sparking Zero?
I actually think I do, yeah.
What the fuck, man? People, this is crazy.
But they're doing two different things.
Yeah, this is a divisive opinion, I think, right? It's like...
I think if we pulled Josh in here, who has also played both recently, he would agree with me.
Oh, fuck. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
But they're trying to do two
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Sparking Zero seems like it's meant for PvP. Like, it's
not trying to be a super hyper cinematic, like, anime video game retelling.
Yeah.
That's what Kakarot's doing, and it like, puts you in the world. Like, you literally get to roam around the open world of the Dragon Ball universe and like
in Kakarot, yeah,
and cook and fish and like it's like a MMO Kakarot game. Whereas this is like you get every single character in the Dragon Ball history as something you can fuck around with and create custom battles with little scenarios and collect the Dragon Balls from doing things and make wishes to unlock more stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's two different things.
Man, there's a whole world out there I'll never understand. Okay, well, seems like a good place to wrap her up. Thanks you guys for chatting. Thanks everybody for listening. It'll be cool to get back together here in a couple of weeks because I'll have some more things to say about Metaphor. And we'll have Dragon Age, which I will be playing day one. I think I am gonna load her up on the I think I'm gonna do the EA Game Pass. Throw in my coin of $15 and see if I can beat it before the subscription has to renew. But we'll see. Get it on that, and then play through it a bit. I think I'm probably just gonna watch. I remember most of the main game, although I probably should watch a recap. But I did not play the DLC for Dragon Age Inquisition, so I will need to.
Yeah, I've got a playthrough loaded up that is a full playthrough. It's not like actually showing all the like really boring gameplay. It's like skipping basically to the next most interesting thing. But
send me that.
It's a full playthrough of someone romancing Solus, and it's going to go through the whole story and the DLC, and I will send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
I think the only thing I wonder if the Inquisitor is in the game, it doesn't really matter. But one of the things I kind of liked about carrying my save through every Dragon Age game is the likeness of my Grey Warden was always carried. Mm-hmm. Like the character always looked like the original Grey Warden I made, and I kind of thought that was sick, but I don't know.
Do we know how it's gonna? I know that we're gonna get to do the stuff at the beginning of the new game, but do we get to maybe pick how they looked? That would be cool.
I think they did say that you can choose how the Grey Warden looks. Yeah, but
all right. Yeah,
but I mean,
it's gonna be sick.
You would have to like recreate through the character creator again, which would be a lot of work. So I probably won't go through it.
I don't mind. I'll get it exactly how I want it.
Actually, sorry, I misspoke. I don't know about I assume you could do it for the Grey Warden. I actually don't know, but they said you could do it for the Inquisitor.
For the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually more important to me. That's what I was thinking too. Is not the Grey Warden, but the Inquisitor. I would like both, but the Inquisitor will be more important to me just by recency bias.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the problem with having such a long-running franchise is they do have to just start some things to let some things go, right? Like drop off.
That's okay. Yeah.
Like how are they really going to factor in all the choices your Grey Warden made? Of course not. Like it's impossible. They can't.
But some of the bigger ones, like
maybe.
I'm assuming what's her name? Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff related to her, I'm sure you could maybe, and I'm sure I don't know how they're going to do it, but I could see them doing like, do you even want to make choices for this part of the story, or do you want us to like
fill in the
like do our canon basically, and then you can just pick for Inquisition or stuff like that. Like, and then if you do get to pick for OG Dragon Age, I assume it's just a handful of super decisive things in case you went like a really niche route and you want to continue that. But I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, it is interesting. Find out, though. God, man, what a good franchise! Like BioWare was cooking so hard at one point. I mean, just
Anthem's good. Fuck you.
I don't even care if the gameplay is good. The story is not good.
It's really bad. Yeah, the story is so bad. I mean,
it's
tragically horrible. Yeah,
Dragon Age 2 did not have good gameplay, but the story carried it so massively hard that Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see. Tune back in on October 32nd for our impressions.
I'm going to be really busy right after that comes out, but I hope I can record like immediately after, assuming I'm playing Dragon Age. I might not get to play. The Marvel cards come out right after Dragon Age, and I'm going to spend a lot of money on them.
Uh-oh.
If you're an investor, Chandler, now's the time.
If you can even get them.
Yeah. He's not an investor.
No. I wouldn't even know what I'm looking for. I did buy a vintage made in Japan Levi's denim jacket yesterday. And I got it at a good deal. And I was just kind of going off of my nose on if it was going to be good or not, because I don't really know anything. And so I messaged my friend afterwards, and he goes, "Is the Levi's tab double-sided? Send me a picture of it. Does it have a big E or a little E? What are the look on the inside of the buttons? Is there a stamp there? What letter and number does it say? Is it selvage? Like all this stuff. Like, and I'm like taking pictures of the fucking, and he's like, okay, yeah, so it's made in Japan. It is at least pre-LVC, so that means like, early 90s or earlier. And okay, what does the number on the tag say? You know, all this stuff. And he's like giving me all this shit. And I'm just like, God, man, there is really a hole for everyone. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. It's like, giving me very similar Magic vibes because there's a green dot test on the back of cards and stuff like that you can.
This hole was made for me. Yeah, this is my hole. Like
everyone just has to find their hole. Yeah,
just find your hole 100%. And slide in, become a goo man.
That's life.
That is life.
Yeah, my hole is cardboard.
Hey, find your hole, brother.
Yep.
All right, everybody. That's
accept the truth.
That's the moral of today's episode. Find your hole.
Find your hole.
Peace.
Goodbye.